We are now recording. So welcome to our Monday Team Zoom. We are really excited after being at our Lifevantage Academy. And today I'd like you guys to share different tidbits that you learned, from your Lifevantage Academy. But one of the biggest things that I learned, I got to make sure I got the right date. But on January, what is it, January 17?
I was going to believe it.
Yeah, January 17, guys. Everyone needs to mark this on your calendars. I don't know, to me, even if you don't live in Michigan. But the Pro 10 Tour is coming to town, coming to Lansing. 2 Pro 10s are coming and spending a few hours with us. And I am just really excited about that. To me, it's a call to arms. We need to let everyone know, invite everyone, people that are interested, are not interested, customers, anyone showing of interest. We want to start preparing now and inviting people, to come to that here in Michigan. So we have a few people I don't recognize on here. That's always exciting. So who would like to introduce Summer?
I'll do that. This is Summer, and I don't know what the cat's name is.
It doesn't have a name yet.
Well, we'll have to work on that.
Sounds like my house.
Is Hugo there?
He just got out of the shower.
Okay. Well, he may join us later. Yep. But Summer and Hugo are. I thought it would be unique tonight to have them join the call, but yet they are not distributors yet, but they're going to be, and they're excited. They've seen the presentation. They've seen the potential behind it, and they're gonna run with this thing. I know they are. So I invited them on the call, and so Summer and Hugo. How do you pronounce your last name?
Montiel.
Montiel. I thought so, but
so how would you Skype them on phone?
They're from Bedford, Iowa. I don't know if they're originally from Bedford, Iowa, but good deal. So there's your introduction.
Well, glad to meet you, Summer.
Thank you.
So what do you like? What do you like about what you've been seeing with Lifevantage?
Well, the first thing that caught my attention was Rick's story that he told me, how it helped his tremors go away. And I know a lot of people around me that could use it, that it could help them because they have bad health, and one of them including my mom. So when I heard that, I really wanted to get started right away and have her try it. And also, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I've been looking for something I can do for extra money.
Hi, Rick.
There you go.
All right. Hey, glad to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
So your name was Hugh. What was it?
Hugo.
Hugo. Okay. Glad to meet you. And who's the little one?
Can you read it to me?
This is Haven, our daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing?
Haven, say hi.
Can you read it to me?
If my grandkids were here, I would introduce them to you. Normally, my house has
There are 9
the background noise. All right. So how's Terry doing?
I'm doing really good. I just drove back from Iowa, so I got home about 45 minutes ago, just in time for the Zoom.
Awesome. That's great. So what do you have in your horizons? I mean, you went out, you saw, didn't you go to the Lifevantage Academy with Rick and Penny?
Sam Flake was at a meeting. I didn't go to the Lifevantage Academy.
Okay.
I just went to, but I am ready to start making calls and getting going here. I've been losing sleep at night thinking of all these people that need this. So I gotta do something so I can sleep better.
Awesome. That's a sure sign of success. When I first heard about this, I couldn't sleep at night, and I was just so excited. It's like, I got to tell everyone. So you want to keep that, well, you need your sleep, but you want to keep that excitement.
I will.
I see another drive to North Dakota in my future.
You might. I don't know, but I'm just glad I came today, because tomorrow they're talking about freezing rain between Sioux Falls and Watertown there. So I'm glad I wasn't driving tomorrow.
Right.
It was good driving today.
Glad you're home.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah, glad you had a safe trip. All right. Well, let's get started here. And I believe Rusty's wife, Debbie, has something she wants to share.
She does, and she's coming in a moment. In a second. Oh, here she is. Here she is. Okay, camera, move. There we go.
Hey, Deb.
Hi.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Well, good. So what would you like to share with us?
Oh, okay.
What are you
I was sorry, I had to
excited
step out of the room. Gracie's babysitting, so I was helping with that for the moment.
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
I thought you asked her to share something about being the odd or the other part of the couple in the business.
Oh, that one. Well, we talked about, maybe having a call about the spouses. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I didn't know if that's what you were doing this time. That's what I prepared for.
well, you could share that. I was going to talk today a little bit, since we had the Lifevantage Academy. I wanted to give everyone a chance to share
awesome.
new things and what they're excited about.
Okay. That's awesome.
Well, we always love hearing from you, though.
Well, let's see. I'll save most of the spouse part of it for later. Just one thing that has really been a blessing for me, thinking along the lines of continuing education. I mean, because basically that's what Lifevantage Academies are. We're continuing to get educated about how to do the business. And as a network marketer, I had no idea how to do network marketing. And even being in it for 2 years, I realized that I still have a lot to learn. And Rusty's working on the Grow 90 Grow right now. And I've been just kind of listening in on the side to some of the things. And every once in a while, when there's just like a little quiz or something like that, he'll say, "Oh, come over and take the quiz." And it's been really a really good education process for me. But I think one of the things that that we were just listening to today that was particularly helpful was what we've always called the why. And this gentleman that does this class, he calls it something different. But it just was a good reminder of the reasons for having a very clear why. And they always would say, your why needs to make you cry. That's what we were told when we first, came in. And he talks about attaching emotion to your why and using your 5 senses. So having it be something you can see or hear or, even feel. One lady was talking about this house on Lake Michigan that she wanted, and she, felt herself walking on the sand and the beach and feeling the sand and the sun and so it was having just a very clear picture of, why we're doing the business. And I think that, as Rusty and I were talking about it, some of the people that had a very, that I thought they had a very clear why at the very beginning, when they sort of fell back and stopped, sharing this with people. And after listening to what he shared today, I realized their why wasn't clear enough for them. And it was something that was important, whether it was paying off a credit card or whether it was, buying a new car or getting the car fixed that you've got. Those are all important things, and it feels good when you accomplish them. And at the same time, it wasn't deep enough to keep them going through the challenges, through the no's, through the sacrifices, basically, because there are some sacrifices that we do make and in working on the business. And to go through that today with that course that Rusty's taking was really good for me, even though I'm not as directly involved as he is. Like we said, being the spouse of the one that's really doing the work. And I feel like I'm a support person and always trying to keep up with the education part of it, the knowing part of it. I still feel how important it is for me to have a very clear why I'm doing this. And it was just a very good reminder for me. And so I passed that on as well.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's always nice having your spouse support you in what you're doing. I was listening to Tyler Daniels, one of the most recent Pro Series of his wife, what she did to him when she found out he signed up in one of those things. I don't know if you guys have listened to that most recent one. Oh my, that guy, he had to sleep on the couch. She went out and took his credit card and just went to town spending money. She goes, "You promised me you weren't going to do another one of those, and you're going to pay, buddy." And now she's like, now that he's making over $100,000 a month, she goes, I mean, I've forgiven this guy. She didn't mention the money, but the rewards that we have with network marketing, I really believe we don't always take it serious. You're talking about our why. I was actually thinking about this, while I was driving to work today. How many of you are in the work rut? It's you get in the car and you drive to and from work, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're wearing that, the road's out, your vehicle's out. And, society says spend at least 40 years, okay, and in hopes that you can retire. Well, Forbes magazine says, 90% of all retirees will not be able to retire, if that's the right way of saying it. Mm-hmm. Will not be able to retire. We don't even know with Social Security, and I couldn't retire my Social Security anyway. We have a glut of people that can't retire working in the workforce. And so the younger generation has nowhere to go. And it's getting worse. And we have an answer. We have a business model that in our company, now not all network marketing companies are created equal. We do have the best. And I'll put us up against anybody else out there. There's not a product in the world that can do what NRF2 activation is doing, guys. we have what scientists are saying could be the biggest discovery ever in wellness. And we have it. The only product ever proven to increase lifespan in mammals. Guys, that's unheard of. And 3 to 5 years, you work this 3 to 5 years where you can accomplish what most people will not be able to accomplish in 40 years. That's something to work for. That's something to put up on your mirror, to write up there. Hey, what if we took our evenings, our spare time, and just spent, just a few hours a day and work for 3 to 5 years doing that and be able to have total time freedom and financial freedom. That, to me, that was just, again, I was just dwelling on that. I got myself excited again. I don't know about you guys. I wanted to enroll all over again. So I'm excited about the Lifevantage Academy. We had a, pretty good turnout here in Michigan. And next month is going to be even a bigger turnout because our team is growing and expanding here in Michigan. So, and the things that I learned, I came in an hour and a half late to the Lifevantage Academy because I had to pick up my daughter from boarding school for her Thanksgiving break. So it's either have my daughter, my oldest daughter, do it, but I let her be there so she can listen in. But just in the time that I was there, just seeing everyone in the room and just listening to, I can't remember the guy's name. Karen, what was the speaker's name? She can't unmute herself. Anyway, I'm terrible with names. Don, you know the name. He's from, I can't even think of the state he's from, Louisiana. The Louisiana oil fields. His family business actually owned oil wells. So for someone like that.
Chad.
Thank you. I saw your text. Someone came to my rescue. Thank you, Karen. So that was just pretty awesome. So what I'd like to do is open up. I like different people that, even Terry, you listen to Sam, different things that you picked up that, kind of got you excited or that you haven't heard before. So who would like to share? So who did you guys listen to? Rick, who did you have out there?
We had of course, I took a distributor with me down to Lee Summit, Missouri, and had pretty close to 165 people in attendance. They had 7 Pro 5s, 7 Pro 7s, 1 Pro 8, and the guest speaker was a Pro 9. Her name was Donna Deegan. She was from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Had an amazing story, personal story. She cancer survivor, and the third time she went in for a follow-up, the doctor told her she was expecting to go in to see after a 6-month checkup of being basically cancer-free. She was expecting to go in and get a clean bill of health. And when she went in, the doctor informed her she had a mass on her kidney, and it had come back in a vengeance. And she was a journalist there in Jacksonville, a TV news anchor, professional lady, and she said it just knocked her down to her knees. But long story short, as far as she's concerned, 11 months went Pro 7.
Wow.
11 months went Pro 7. And
I'm jealous.
So, yeah, she it was really good, and so had a bunch of the Pro 5s, Pro 6s, Pro 7s share, and but her story resonated with me because of the cancer, and had some other stories, but she covered the 4 pillars of success and the core habits that we have to have to do the business, and so it was an amazing thing. But I think the bigger part of for me was that day of taking a distributor who's downline from us and having them set in on a meeting. That was his first view of the bigger picture per se, outside the realm of like say a small meeting or a one-on-one. That was basically his first big conference, and he was just blown away. And so going to be expecting some big things from him. But even while we were down there, it was amazing as far as duplication. He signed up a preferred customer while he was at the convention, and so it was pretty neat to see how that is playing out within the Lifevantage family and being intentional in what we're doing as far as the proven plan and teaching people those dynamics. So it was a good time.
All right, awesome. Thank you. I was hearing a noise, so I muted everyone. So, if you want to speak, if you're on your phone, you want to hit *6, and then you can talk. But who would like to share next? Don't everyone jump at once. I'm going to start naming people. All right, Dawn. Make you get up. Oh, you're going to make Dave get up to press the button. I'll unmute you for you. There, I unmuted you, Dawn.
Thank you. I'm looking at my notes to see what I learned. He talked about finding out what their needs and wants, what their pain or desire or passion or dreams are, so you know how to talk to them in the beginning.
Okay.
I'm still trying to do all that. Then 4, you can do it by talking about their friends or family or their occupation, see if they're happy with it. What's their recreation or what's their money wishes or dreams? They're making enough. It all sounds good. I still don't know how to start the conversation, so I get stuck right there.
Conversation builders. I call it the art of asking questions.
Yeah.
Some people it comes natural. Like my wife, she'll just talk to any stranger in a grocery store. Before you know it, she knows someone that they know that knows her or who knows what. Where myself, I have to stop and think, and I have to force myself to go out of my comfort zone and say, "Hi, how are you doing? What's your name?"
I can talk to people when I really want to tell them. I tend to freeze up because I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say it without feeling like I'm shoving it down their throat.
Well, that's a good point, because you don't want to shove anything down their throat. That doesn't do well for a relationship. But it's not about shoving things down people's throats. All we're doing is asking them questions and finding their why. Really, it's like if let's say you have a waitress, okay, and just give them a compliment. Hey, I just want to really thank you for the great service you've been doing for us. How long have you been doing this? And find out, how long. And so do you like what you're doing? Do you see yourself doing this the rest of your life, or you have other plans? What? Or, you could say, are you making the kind of money that, you'd like to be making? I mean, these are just ideas. There's a hunter approach, and then there's a farmer approach. If it's the same waitress at the same restaurant, I suggest, just build up that relationship and rapport first. But if I'm out of town, I'll never see them again. Hey, point and shoot. Hey, you like what you're doing? This is where Rick and I, we can be hunters. It's like throwing mud on the wall. Some stick. And it's not being rude. You're just asking questions. If they say, no, I don't want to do this the rest of my life, Well, really, have you thought about looking at alternatives? Well, like what? And then just gives you a point to share your story. Okay. Well, if you don't mind, if you got a couple of minutes, let me share my story with you. And every single one of you on here have a story. That's what I took, again, from Lifevantage Academy, is your story. Did you want to say something, Rusty? Oh.
Yes, thank you. I did. Since you're mentioning the story, and anyway, hi to our new Summer and what was your name again?
Hugo.
Hugo. Awesome, Hugo. So one of the things that makes us nervous about being network marketers is that we don't like sales, right? Most of us. And so one of the keys is really getting them to ask you what your story is. So if you could think of one simple thing to try to get them to ask what the story is, it's like we call it the SALT principle. The SALT principle is illustrated by a guy who was out in Africa, and he was thirsty, and the animals would not show in the way of the water hole, and so he had some salt with him, and he stuck that salt, but he actually had a jar, and he put a treat that a monkey would want in that jar, but he couldn't get his hand out without letting go of the treat, so he wouldn't do that. So he trapped the monkey, and then he fed it salt until the monkey was willing to lead him to the water hole. We call it the SALT principle. What I've been trying to do just recently is trying to get the person to ask me about it. And for some reason, when they ask you, they want to hear your story, all of a sudden that the sales part in their brain disengages, and they want to hear your story. So it really, it's like I wrote it down on Slack, but people hate to hear a sales pitch they didn't ask for. If they ask for it, then they like to hear it. But if they don't want to hear it, that's number one right there. People love to hear the stories they choose to hear. So if they have chosen to hear your story, then you're golden. You can share that story, and they'll respond to it very well. And they can't help asking for stories that might enhance their values or enhance their life. But you can't say, hey, I've got something that might bless your life. All of a sudden they recognize the sales pitch already, many of them, like, what do you want to sell me? So you really have to get them to ask you your story. And so one of those ways, I don't know if you already gone over it, I wasn't here, but is asking questions. My wife has a list of 3 or 4 things on our desk over there. And number 1 is ask questions. The second one is ask more questions. The third one is ask more questions about what they just said. And then you're listening for clues. Okay, you're listening for clues. The clues is going to be something in your story that they're going to want to hear. Does that make sense? So as you're asking them questions about their life, about their ambitions, about whatever they're dreaming or whatever, and the answer to that might be in your story, then the clue is getting them to ask you to tell your story. So I had a patient in the office, and he is into health, and he's into he's into surfing like I am, and he's getting older. He's almost semi-retired, and he's still, you know, going strong and wants to keep going strong his whole life. And I just mentioned a couple of things like, yeah, I can totally, you know, agree with you. That's, you know, living, you know, and excelling in our older age is really something that I've been experiencing. Done. Guess what he said?
What is it?
Oh, tell me about it. So I didn't start talking before he asked me. I just hung it out there and waited. And many times I've made this mistake before where I'll say that first thing and then I'll just finish it up with the answer to that instead of waiting for them to ask. Right? You know, you've been somewhere at some store and some salesman comes up to you and they ask you, "Oh, do you need any help?" And then they will respond many times to yes or no. If they don't wait for you to say yes or no and just start, you know, you start to kind of resist that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're kind of pushy. And so that would be something that I think I'm trying to really work on and learn is how to get them curious, how to salt them enough that they want to hear my story. That's all I had there, Brian.
No, that was huge. I'm still listening. You know? So did you get?
Well, there's okay. So what I'm learning is there's parts of your brain that you make decisions upon, and the conscious mind kind of decides what goes into the subconscious, or it can. Most of you will make a decision with your subconscious mind before your conscious mind ever really catches up. We call that sometimes intuition. You already have a gut feeling, so to speak, whatever, you know, and much of that decision is based on everything you've learned up to this point. And so if you want to have someone be more positive about what you have to share, they will definitely be more positive and they'll make a quicker decision to either get your product or join you in this organization if they are curious about what you're doing or curious about asking questions about what you are actually doing more than you presenting it to them. So I think it's kind of important to, sorry.
Oh, not a problem.
If you know what their values are, you'll have a better time at salting them as well. The patient that I had, I listened to him talk a bit about, you know, his thing and his life, and it kind of gave me an idea of how to pose the SALT principle. If I'd have said to someone who's 20 has no cares for retirement, they don't even think about it, they would be bored by the subject, I wouldn't really ask them what their plans are for retirement, would I? Or tell them my plans for retirement. So it's really learning how to tune into people and listening to them and asking questions. So let me give you something to try. I've done this before. One time I did it on an airplane. It was like an assignment we had from Lifevantage, and many of you maybe heard the story before, but I'll bore you with it anyway. They said to ask a person questions and never offer anything that you're going to say yourself, but just continue to ask questions. And so we got on the airplane. It was a 4-hour flight. And before we took off, we started talking. I asked him a bunch of questions about himself. And he was an interesting person. About 3 or 4 questions into it, he just asked me politely something about myself. And instead of answering the question, I said, "Oh, we'll get to that. So what about," and I asked him a question again that referred to something he had answered my previous question. When we landed, the airplane landed, we were still talking about him. And when we got out of the airplane and we were going to the tram, he said, "You know, you're a very fascinating person." Yeah, he didn't know anything about me, but I was a fascinating person. So practice that. Just go somewhere, meet someone, ask them a bunch of questions, and try to divert their attention on yourself, and just try that questioning approach, and just see if you learn a lot about someone, and you would probably want to solve their problem right away, but they may not want it solved. But just try that. It's kind of a fun exercise. You can even try it with your spouse. I don't know if you guys are new, but if you want to watch It's About the Nail, just go on YouTube and Hugo and watch that, Summer. It's about the nail. It's about how men want to fix their wives, right? They have a problem. You share it with Hugo, and he automatically wants to fix you. You probably would rather have him listen to you than fix you, right? It's about that. It's really funny. You'll love it. It's very and just remember that people don't want to be fixed. They really want to be heard. And we'll be better network marketers by that. And we'll have more people join our organization because we're fascinating people. We listen, right? And we listen to what their needs are and then shape what we have based on those needs. That was the extended version.
Thank you. By the way, for some of you new people, I'm a Pro 5 in Lifevantage, and the guy that was just talking is Rusty Cottrell, and he's a Pro 6. Rusty's my enroller. So he was the first one that shared this with me, and then I shared it with some people, and then look at this. This is what happens. This is called an engine. Okay, every single picture on here is part of our engine, part of our team, and every one of you, our goal is to help you have that engine. That is what residual income is all about, that pays over and over and over. So we have a gift to share with people, and it's just learning how to share that. And most of the time for myself, I went Pro 5 just telling people, guys, I just learned something that you've got to see. This is just incredible. I've never seen anything like this. It was on ABC Primetime News. When do you have a few minutes? And I got them to watch that. And then I said, hey, you've got to hear the rest of the story. I invited a friend of mine, Rusty, who shared this with me. You've got to just give him a few minutes. Let him tell you the rest of the story. It's just amazing. And then I just hit mute, and I let Rusty do the talking for me. And he taught me that, so that's what I do with my team. We're not always good at hitting the mute button, but, that's what duplication's all about. This business is all about being duplicatable. We hear that over and over again. Are you being duplicatable? It's so tempting to be the message and the messenger. Let someone else share the message. Your job is just to introduce them to third-party materials and then introduce them to someone else to do the talking. I had 3 customers before I even got my product in the mail because I let Rusty share his story. And he shared this with what it was doing for him and with a lot of patience that he had. And I got customers. It's just amazing. It was just like magic. I just hit mute and I get customers. Guys, that's as hard as this business is. Introduce, we have leaders on right now on the Zoom. We have, Rick and Penny. We've got people hiding behind their phones and their phone numbers, but, Karen, just an incredible team that we have on here. And if you're not using us, you're not being duplicatable. Think about that. I know enough where I could just do it all myself too. And, I might get some customers, but I'm not going to duplicate. Because that's important. I've been in network marketing before. The last business I was in for 10 years. I had just a few distributors that were willing to go and sell on other people. I wasn't duplicatable. That's why it did not work. We have an incredible product, but we have an incredible system. And that's why going to Lifevantage academies, going to conventions, going to all these things is training and educating our minds and, just immersing ourselves in the knowledge that successful people have accomplished before us. Like, Rusty, he keeps hearing more things. So it's like, wow, I didn't hear about that. I'm anxious to hear more. So anyway, with that, who else would like to share? Don't be shy. You're network marketers.
I'll share something I learned.
Sure, Penny. I appreciate you guys.
I learned something that was really good for me. They were talking about that you when you're going about working with people and stuff. Can you turn down? Or yeah, okay. Sorry. Okay, when you're working with people and you find people and there's people that are excited about, like I got several people that are really super excited about this. You don't worry about the people that aren't sure about it, or they say they're going to do something with it, or maybe it's not their timing. And like my best friend, she got kind of mad at me, and then the next day after she saw some of the stuff, she was so excited and said she was sorry, and it really was everything I'd said. But you just don't worry about the people that aren't doing anything, or the people that are saying that they're going to do something and they don't. You just focus on who's trying to do something and work with them. And that kind of helped me know where to put things, because I wanted to help everybody. If somebody didn't know what to do, I wanted to help them a whole bunch. If somebody kept being, like making excuses that, they didn't want to come to a training, or, they just said, well, I can't get to the training or something like that. I was always trying to encourage them and help them, and, and so I didn't know where to focus, I guess. And that super helped me, because now I'm not going to worry about it, because maybe somebody's not ready. Maybe it's not their timing. Maybe they're waiting to see if I'm successful. So now I can relax a lot more and just help the people that are excited and want to learn more and are trying to go forward. And I just love on the other people and be positive with them, but I don't worry about it. Whereas before I was worried about everybody, and it was kind of making me real tired. Or if somebody was, negative, now I can just say, well, they don't know what they don't know. It's okay. Maybe when this gets more popular, which, I know in 5 years, everybody's going to know about this. So I got to hurry up and do what I'm going to do. And they were saying, did you know about this before you knew about it? Like Nike. When somebody told you about Nike, would you have known about it before somebody told you about it? Well, like this, people aren't going to know about it until they know about it. So just because only 1% of people know about this right now, there's going to be a time when this is just going to blow up and everybody's going to know about it. So I just have to realize some people don't know what they don't know and not worry about it. So it's kind of helping me know how to expend my energy in a positive way. And I'm just learning and growing so much about learning how to be confident with people and not worry about things, where to put my energy. And Sam spent a lot of time. That's just amazing. Trying to put that into perspective, because Summer and Hugo got to watch Sam's thing too. So Rusty, he's above Rusty. So anyway, he was very encouraging, very positive, and he ended up spending like 2 or 3 hours that night. Amy came over, and Terry, and just really poured into us. And that is one thing I just love about Lifevantage family. There's just that personal interest to help you grow personally, to be a better person. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I was just really excited. I figured that out. It helps me put my energy in the right place. So anyway, thanks.
Thank
I
you
think
so much.
Penny's right that when you're in Lifevantage, it's different than any place else you've ever been, because it's not that you're on your own and people might call occasionally to see how you're doing. People are there to help you make it. And I think that's really special.
Like Kim Dowell.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim. Do you have anything else, Kim, you'd like to share that you learned?
Well, I think that going to the meetings is really important. We were at the meeting yesterday, and it does take time. You drive there, you drive back the time you're there. But, you know, I took 11 pages of notes, and I walked away learning more than I had before I came. So every training that we get is like a push in the right direction of helping us to be able to make our business go. And I appreciate the efforts that our upline and even those that aren't part of our group are out there trying to show us how to do it. You know, when I was in Mary Kay, I didn't have that. I didn't even know that Mary Kay was multi-level marketing. I was in it because my mom was in it, and I enjoyed doing it while I did it, but it was just Mom and I, just kind of our own little circle. And we would go to a meeting, and it was a rah-rah meeting, and that was about it. I didn't learn anything. I learned on-the-job training, and there was nobody there but my mom to help me. In this, every direction you turn, there is someone there that's willing to help you. And I just think that's really special.
All right, thank you. Yeah, having Sam come here out of his way, you know, and share with us was pretty awesome. Did you have something you want to share, Bev? I'll unmute you. All right, you're unmuted, Bev.
Oh, okay, because I've tried to talk 3 or 4 times and I couldn't say anything. No, I was, thank you, Kim. Is Kim still there? I was really
I'm clear.
Okay, when I left the seminar, and I had a baby shower to go to after that, and so I did go. I was really tired. I went to the baby shower, then I had to go to Kroger's, and while I was in there, I talked with a stock person, stocking the freezer section, and he and I got talking, and at the tomorrow night, and he said, good, because I have Tuesdays off, and so I was really excited about that. And I talked with another woman, and come to find out, many years ago, I was her brownie leader. That was a plus. And then today, I talked with a couple of people when I stopped at Myers, and they have those sandwich place in there, the Okemos Myers. I can't think what that's called, the sandwich place in there. And it was a stock person, and it was the woman.
Subway.
What?
Is it Subway?
Yeah, Subway. It was in Subway. And I talked with the woman in there, and we got talking, and she said that her mother-in-law had Alzheimer's, and we really got talking about it. So I gave her one of my cards, and I gave her the time of the meeting tomorrow night. I don't find it hard to talk to people at all. And by the time I got done talking with the stock boy, I knew what hours he worked, what days he worked, what he liked about it, what he didn't like about it. And I really thought the woman was like part owner or something. And she said, oh, no, I don't own any of this. I wish I did. And then they start telling you, you know, if they have any problems with money or they wish they had more hours or whatever. So, yeah, I was so pumped. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to start doing this. And just talking with people, and that's how it gets started.
That's right. Good job, Bev.
Thank you.
So, Bev, okay, you're fairly new, all right?
I'm very new.
So what I tell people, there's no right or wrong invite, okay? If it's working, do it. You know, a lot of it is your posture, your belief system, your excitement that does. People go more by how they feel, okay, in the conversation than what you say.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you mind sharing how do you build a conversation for everyone here? What does that look like for you?
You mean what I
You can
did?
role play with me if you want.
You mean what I did yesterday and today?
Yeah, I'm the stock boy. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't really need any frozen potatoes, but I said, can you tell me where the little cut up potatoes, I couldn't even think of the name of it then. He goes, oh, I know what you mean. Come here with me and I'll show you. Well, we got there and they didn't have any on the shelf. And so he apologized to me. He was very, very helpful. And then he said, oh, I think there's some more on the end cap. Just come on down here and let me see. And so we got talking and he was busy. And I could tell that he was an intelligent guy. And I said, you know, you sound like you think outside the box. And he said, I think I do. And then he told me, we got talking about what hours he worked. And he told me his hours. And I asked him about money, making money, if he had enough money, you know, if he felt like he had enough money with his job. Because, you know, most people I talk with now, they don't just have one job. They have 2 or 3 jobs. And so then I said, well, you know, I have a new job. And then he said, well, what is that new job? And so I told him, I said, I'm a distributor now. Well, what is that? And so we start talking about it. And I said, well, if you'd like to know more about it, you know, you can help people and you can actually help yourself by earning money with what I do. And so he wanted to know more about it. And so I said, well, I'm actually having a meeting about this on Tuesday night. It starts at 6:30. And I said, it's not far from here. And so I told him, you know, it's Chandler Road, the same as Abbott. He goes, oh, I know where that is. And he said, and I've got Tuesday night off. So I gave him one of my cards with the time and my address and everything. I said, we'll see. I don't know.
Wow, how amazing. It sounded like you made him thirsty. You know,
I think
you used the salt method. Without even knowing the salt method.
You did an excellent job, Bev.
That was an excellent job. And I am planning on being at your meeting tomorrow night. So.
Good. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Was that helpful? Does anyone have any comments or questions about that?
Well, that what Bev just said is starting to resonate so much with me. And Bev, I appreciate your exuberance and your just your passion and your voice when you're talking to people. That's an amazing thing. And so the reason why that it attracts me there is my wife does the same thing. When she's gone for hours at a time, I don't wonder where she's at now, because she's at the grocery store. She's walking down the aisle and someone will come up to her and says, where's this produce? I can't find this. And she's not even there to buy groceries. She's there to prospect people, you know. And it's like Rusty and Brian, and they've created a monster here, you know. It's an amazing thing. So you keep going, Bev. You keep doing that, and you're gonna see some fruits of that. So that's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is. It's a relationship building business. That's why women make better network marketers than men. We tend to be point and shoot. Okay, we're just going to the store to buy something, and it's the last thing in our minds to try and have a conversation with someone. But we're learning to be better at that. I'm learning to be better at that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. All right, who else would like to share?
Hey, Brian.
I think we have an amazing team.
Yes, we do. I thought I heard Vince's voice.
Yeah, you did. Hey, I just kind of wanted to kind of go back to what Rusty was talking about when he was talking about asking questions and stuff. There's a friend of mine, and I don't know if some of you guys know him. He's a Seventh-day Adventist, George Crumley, one of the nicest guys I ever met. And whenever we used to go over to his house, him and his wife, George was the kind of guy, you liked him because he never talked about himself. He never bragged about anything. All he ever did was talk about you. And I think people, the best subject they like to talk about is to hear about is themselves. So when people take an interest in them, they instantly kind of like that person. So when he was sitting there and he's just asking that question after question, and just talking about him, that he said, "Man, you're an amazing person," because they instantly kind of like you when you turn around and take an interest. I've actually done that as an experiment by just keep asking questions, or if a conversation gets lulled, I'll look at them and say, so how many, do you have any grandkids? You know, and I just start asking questions. They'll automatically want to talk about their grandkids or whatever. So it's really, you know, it's important to ask questions and talk about the person that you're talking to.
You won't be disappointed. You won't.
All right. Well, thank you, Vince. So, how are the pain meds coming?
Well, actually, I went to they're doing an MRI on my knee, but she actually gave me release to go back to work on the light duty. So, but it is feeling a little bit better, but I still got a lot of pain in the back of my knee.
Well, that's
So
good.
it'll get better. I'm just glad nothing was broken or nothing was tore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Vince slipped on some ice, and so
well, frost. Fell down a hill, walking my dog. Pretty exciting.
but it happens.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, Dawn is pointing her fingers at Dave, saying Dave has something to share. Just a second.
I don't know, did they say about the Black Friday sale they're gonna have? It's on.
Oh, I'm getting some feedback. I'm looking for it. All right, try that again.
Did they say anything at the end of the meeting about the Black Friday sale?
No, was that at the beginning of the meeting that I missed?
At the beginning, they said they were going to talk about it at the end, you know, because we were going to leave something about it, but they're having reduced prices on some of the products, so they might want to get in there and get into the website there and see what's reduced, what you can get a sale on.
Okay. We'll do that. All right. Anyone else? We're kind of getting to the top of the hour here. Any last comments? All right, I'll unmute you, Bev.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And today I got my first order. My very first order.
A customer or?
A customer, yeah.
Awesome.
And it was someone I had invited tomorrow night, and they said that they trusted me completely because I said, you know, I'm just the messenger. I'm not the message. I tried everything. And he said, no, I trust you, and I want to order this. So I said, okay.
Awesome. Great job. You know, today we have a brand new distributor, Katie Hallstrom. She's not feeling good, so she's just hiding behind her screen, but she's been listening in. And we're just excited to have Katie joining our team as distributors and anxious to work with her and help her. So that's what I love about this business. Have you ever been in a business where people want to help you succeed? Usually doesn't happen in the corporate world, okay? But in this business, it's all about helping each other get their goals and meet what they want. So we're excited to work with every one of you. I hope you eventually start getting some sleep, but in the meantime, you know, let us know how we can help you, because the best way to get sleep is to have a whole team, okay, knowing they're out there working with you. All right, if anything else, I just want to finish with what I started. Here in Michigan, mark your calendars, January 17 on a Tuesday. Make sure you put in, if you work, get that day off, put in a vacation day, and let's invite anyone and everyone. We're going to have 2 Pro 10s here in Michigan. And they're doing this all around the U.S. So check on your Big Blue calendar. For those that don't know what Big Blue calendar is, let's introduce you to the Big Blue calendar. If you go into your back office, you log in. There's up the upper right-hand corner. It says Big Blue calendar. You click on that, and then you find your state, and you look for meetings. If you don't see a meeting in your state, look for a state close to you, because there's Lifevantage academies going on all the way around the United States, and the Pro 10 tour is going on too. I thought they said Tuesday and Wednesday of
Monday and
January.
Tuesday.
What's that?
Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, Monday and Tuesday of January? Thank you. All around the United States at different places, Pro 10s are showing up in their Jeeps, and they're going out there to, they don't have to do this, guys. These guys are making average of whatever, $80,000 a month. A month. They don't need the money. They're doing it to help us. That's what's exciting. So let's.
You know, Brian, that's one thing that he brought out yesterday. He said, what business can you go into that people call you and say, what can I do to help you build your business?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So 3 to 5 years. Okay. People overestimate what they usually will do their first year, but they underestimate what they can do in 3 to 5 years. I shared this with my daughter. Let's just look at a worst case scenario, guys. What if it took you a whole year to find one distributor that wanted to build this business? And then it took you another year to find another distributor that wanted to do this business and work hard. And let's say every year for 5 years, it took you 5 years to find 5 distributors that really want to do this. You can retire. Guys, I mean, that's a worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But the best case scenario is just start sharing it with more. Find more distributors than that. Okay? And just keep sharing this and sharing this. Beat the bushes. You know, not literally, but you know what I mean. Get out there and meet people. Okay? Build relationships, and it's going to happen for you. So thank you guys for all being on here. Thank you, Mr. Rusty, for helping us. And I want to hear more about this salt thing. I need to get better at making people salty.
Well, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving, too.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yep.
You too.
Yeah.
Cheers.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.